again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln with this week's edition of the Racehorse Digest, ESPN's national recap of horse racing. Well, our Thoroughbred headline race was last Saturday's feature on our Racing to the Breeders' Cup telecast from Turfway Park in northern Kentucky. It was the classic on the $1.15 million Kentucky Cup Day of Champions. The Kentucky Cup Classic, now a Grade 3 in its fourth running. Thoroughbreds 3 and up, a mile and an eighth, the purse $380,000. Here's the field, the closing odds presented by Las Vegas. The entry from Canada featuring Mount Sassafras at 3 to 1, Regal Discovery at 10. Now let's look at the race favorites from Dwayne Lucas's stable. Coup d'Argent has Gary Stevens at 8 to 5. Just a slight favorite over Distorted Humor with Pat Day at 9 to 5. Cimarron at 7 to 1 with Kent DeSormo. Now for our ESPN telecast, here's Tom Durkin's call of the Kentucky Cup Classic.
And they are up. And in mid-pack, it's Stefan Otis who shows first. Cimarron gunned toward the lead by Kent DeSormo. Cimarron intent on the lead, and they've got it. And Distorted Humor is right there, flashing his early speed. He's now running second. Stefan Otis down inside, saving ground into the clubhouse turn, and Mount Sassafras up with the front runners on the outside, running fourth. The break of 2 for George's Gold is 5th. And at the back of the pack early, our Regal Discovery, Coup d'Argent's in between horses, and Danville is the early trailer as Cimarron blazes the way, and he's being pushed along by Distorted Humor. Sharp quarter there, 23 seconds flat. The pace of demanding one early. They're into the backstretch. Cimarron, persistent pressure from Distorted Humor. And Pat Day just takes a peek to his outside, and there's Mount Sassafras, who joins the fray midway down the backstretch. Stefan Otis is raining in behind the leaders. Then a break of 5 lengths back to Coup d'Argent, followed by George's Gold down inside. Regal Discovery's in between them, and Long Shot Danville is the trailer. 46 seconds flat for the opening half mile. The pace a grueling one here. Cimarron trying to gut it out on the lead, still grinding it on the lead. He's driving on the lead by a half length. Distorted Humor's been pressing him the whole way. And now Mount Sassafras coming under a ride third. Mickey Walls trying to motivate Stefan Otis. They're now running third on the inside. Mount Sassafras on the outside under the whip fourth. And Coup d'Argent beginning to crank it up here. And here he comes splitting horses as the field turns for home. Distorted Humor on the outside. Cimarron toward the inside. Distorted Humor short lead. He's right on the shoulder of Cimarron, who's running a brave race today. And Cimarron comes back. It's Cimarron in front. Distorted Humor. Coup d'Argent trying to reel them in 100 yards from home. Cimarron, Distorted Humor, Coup d'Argent. Cimarron does it all the way on the lead.
The West Coast Invaders, Cimarron, owned by Don Disney and trained by Bobby Baffert, overcame a bump and a fierce challenge from the runner-up Distorted Humor for a one-length victory in the Kentucky Cup Classic at Turfway Park. Cimarron was ridden by Kent DeSormo. The 4-year-old Virginia-bred son of Phone Trick has now won over $744,000. The Racehorse Digest is brought to you by the United States Trotting Association, leading the way in harness racing. Doubletree Hotels and Guest Suites. With over 200 locations worldwide, call 1-800-222-3. By Vinery Stallions 1998, the new home for champion Langpure, along with Checker and Run Softly. And by the United Thoroughbred Trainers of America, publisher of the Backstretch magazine.
Sweet dreams from Doubletree.
Great moments in racing are the results of months of hard work and hope, years of planning and persevering, and generations of successful bloodlines. For nearly 2 decades, Walmack has contributed to some of racing's most exciting moments. With young stallions like Group 1 winner and leading third crop sire Septi MCL, sire of 1996 multiple graded stakes winner Cesium Sans among his 18 lifetime stakes horses. At Walmack, we're working to make every moment count.
Hey, stranger, where you been?
I don't smoke anymore.
Sorry. I mean, great. How'd you do it?
Nicoderm CQ.
CQ? Isn't that the patch with the, 3 steps?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing the steps.
While Nicotrol has only 1 step, CQ has 3. So you gradually step down your dose the way doctors and pharmacists prefer.
Steps, Dan. It's the way to go.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
It's time to meet the challenge. The MBNA America Quarter Horse Racing Challenge. Nominate your horse today for the rest of his life.
Welcome back to the Racehorse Digest. I'm Dave Johnson, talking harness racing. 2-year-olds were in the spotlight last weekend as Mohawk Raceway hosted the Nassagaweya and Harvest Stakes for pacers and Sportsman's Park, the American National, for freshman trotters. 32-year-old pacing colts and geldings went to the post in 4 divisions of the Nassagaweya Stakes on Friday night. And the highlights came from Bear Dance and Rustler Hanover in the first 2 heats. Northern Dynasty was the 7-10 favorite in the opening division, but he could not fend off the furious rush of Bear Dance with driver John Campbell as they got up at the wire to win it by a head in 155. After capturing the $600,000 Metro Stakes on August 30th, Rustler Hanover lost by a nose to Piece of Art in a division of the Champlain Stakes, but returned to his winning ways in the Nassagaweya, romping by nearly 5 lengths over Western Ideal in an impressive 153 2/5, more than a full second faster than any of the other 3 divisions. Co-owned by the Wellwood Stables and the AFJ Stable of Ontario, Rustler Hanover now has hit the board in each of his last 6 starts. For Jeffrey Snyder's Bear Dance, the victory was his first since the Woodrow Wilson eliminations back on August the 1st at the Meadowlands. More than $288,000 was up for grabs in the Harvest Stakes for 2-year-old pacing fillies last Friday night, as 44 distaffers went to the post in 5 divisions. The most impressive performance by far was put in by Almahurst Devilish, the 3-2 favorite in the first division, who crushed her 8 rivals by 8 lengths with driver Doug Brown in a new lifetime mark of 156 1/5. That winning time was duplicated in the 4th division by Genuine Woman, who added the Harvest to her victory in the American National at Sportsman's Park after catching the pace-setting Armbro Rosebud in mid-stretch and drawing away to win it by a length and 3/4. Owned by trainer Bob McIntosh, the CSX Stables and Cape Mitchell Stables of Ontario, Genuine Woman now has 4 wins and 3 second-place finishes in 7 starts on the season. For Almahurst Devilish, her first start in 6 weeks was a winning one. She's owned by the Torlando Farms, Sharon Prine, Dr. David Powell, and Brian Doyle of Ontario. In the $85,000 American National for 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings at Sportsman's Park, the Chuck Sylvester trained Silver Pine won for the 3rd time in 5 starts, trotting his final quarter in 27 3 to beat Ark Welder by 2 lengths in a time of 2 minutes 3/5 of a second. Chuck Sylvester also trains the impressive winner of the $84,000 American National for 2-year-old trotting fillies, as divisional leader Feel the Motion scored her 4th straight victory in this 7.5 length romp in 159 1. Sylvester has to feel good about Feel the Motion, a horse he co-owns with Irving Liverman. And he surely has some special feelings for Silver Pine, who is out of Pine Speed, the dam of one of the greatest trotters he's ever trained. 1994 Trotter of the Year, Pine Chip.
And we invite you to join us this Thursday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern, one of harness racing's great events, the Little Brown Jug. That's this Thursday, September 18th, 5 Eastern on ESPN.
Don't just sit there. Get connected with the Handicapper's Daily Racing Form, the new Windows program for your PC. Now you won't feel trapped when it's time to play the horses. Simply call via modem and download the track of your choice. In moments, you'll be handicapping like a pro with the form's great features, plus buyer speed figures and super consensus for selections based on speed, pace, class, and form. Don't get stalled. Call 1-800-646-0518 to order your Handicapper's Daily Racing Form. It's your electronic information source for the next 100 years.
Every week in the Blood Horse, complete color coverage of racing around the country and the world, delivered right to your door. The Blood Horse for just $1.63 a week. Subscribe now and receive 2 free special issues. The Source, a $19.95 value free. And the Stallion Register, a $29.95 value free with your 1-year subscription. Call 1-800-237-8400, extension 400. Now the Blood Horse is interactive on the World Wide Web. www.bloodhorse.com.
MLS sharpshooters gear up for the playoffs when Roy Lassiter leads the Mutiny into D.C. for a showdown against Jaime Moreno and United. Tampa Bay versus D.C. United. Sunday at 1. MLS on ESPN.
We're back on the Racehorse Digest. Let's get right to the recap of thoroughbred racing this past week around the country. First at Del Mar, the 50th running of the Grade 2 $250,000 Del Mar Futurity. 2-year-old, 7/8 of a mile on the dirt. Here's Trevor Denman.
And Double Honor kicks away from them now. Double Honor opens up to lead it by 2. Commiticize trying to come on. Souvenir Copy still looking for a way through. Top of the lane, and it's Double Honor kicking on for home. Commiticize now. Old Topper getting involved late on the outside, and Souvenir Copy down at the rail. It's suddenly wide open. Souvenir Copy at the rail. Double Honor, Old Topper, and Commiticize. Anyone of 4 can win it. They hit the wire. Souvenir Copy, I believe.
Trevor called it right. Souvenir Copy the winner for trainer Bobby Baffert, who takes his second Del Mar Futurity in a row. Baffert winning the race last year with Silver Charm. Went on to win the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Souvenir Copy, a dark brown colt owned by John and Betty Mabie's Golden Eagle Farm. Ridden to victory by Chris McCarron, the time 1:23 for 7/8. 7-5 favorite Old Top with Alex Solis, second by a neck. Souvenir Copy to start next in the Grade 2 Norfolk at Santa Anita. We're back at Turfway Park, more of the Kentucky Cup Day of Champions. This is the juvenile race. 2-year-old colts, $100,000, a distance of 1 mile and a 1/16. Dwayne Lucas's entry of Time Limit and Alamar B, the favorites.
2.5 lengths to Alamar B. From the back of the pack, the Devil Now beginning to pick it up. Then Reformer Rally, a nice ride as last as the field turns for home. Time Limit holds on to the lead at the top of the stretch. Time Limit still under a hand ride there. He continued, and he took a bad step, and he veered in. He's running greenly, and Laydown ran by him. Laydown, oh, what a turn of events here. Time Limit looked like he had Laydown beaten, but it's going to be Laydown who opens up here a deep stretch to win it.
Laydown, ridden by jockey Mike Smith, picks up the juvenile victory by an easy 5.5 lengths with trainer Nick Zito. The colt with son of Crypto Clearance is out of the mare, pushing 50. Second place finisher Overbrook Farms Time Limit with Gary Stevens aboard. Spooked at the park starting gate near the 8th pole and lost all momentum there. Zito may start Laydown next in the Lanes End Breeders' Futurity October 18th at Keeneland in Lexington, Kentucky. Lay down the best of the juvenile colts. Let's find the best of the juvenile fillies now. Their $100,000 race on the main track at a mile. The Bobby Baffert trained Vivid Angel. The choice here at 2-5 in the Kentucky Cup Juvenile Fillies. Here's Tom Durkin.
And on the far outside, it's Vivid Angel who's coming wide into the stretch. Dubai trying to gut it out here, still holding on to the lead tenaciously. 9 lives, second on the outside. Vivid Angel, a desperate third. Kiyako is fourth. It's Dubai trying to hang in there, a firing line in behind her. Kiyako bursting through. Vivid Angel toiling on the far outside. Here comes Nurse Goodbody. Nurse Goodbody wins it by a head.
The 8-1 filly Nurse Goodbody wins by half a length. Last July at Ellis Park, this bay came the Magnolia Stakes. She's been battling a recent respiratory infection. Comes back to win this race in a time of 1:38.3 in the mile for trainer Joe Petalino. Nurse Goodbody by Personal Hope out of None Such Bay, owned by the Gaylord family's Lazy E Racing Stables of Oklahoma City. Next up for this filly, the Alcibiades October 11th. The favorite Vivid Angel was fourth, 4 lengths back. Well, now to the 12th running of the Grade 2 $250,000 Turfway Breeders' Cup for fillies and mares 3 and up. The distance, 1.16 miles. Feasibility Study sent off here as the favorite in the field of 5. Shoot up to the front early, press the front-running City Band from the outside. The chestnut mare gains the advantage here at the 8th pole and brings home the win by a length for trainer Billy Mott. Mike Smith was up for the ride here for the owner, Cherry Murray's stable. Last time out, the 5-year-old mare was a 15-length win of an allowance race at Saratoga in the slop. His daughter of Lord Avey picks up her first-time graded stakes victory, the time 1:42.2. Overbrook City Band, trained by Dwayne Lucas, ridden by Kent DeSormo, was second by 2 lengths. 6 now going to the post in the $150,000 Grade 2 Kentucky Cup Sprint. It's open to 3-year-olds, the distance 6 furlongs. Dwayne Lucas with another favorite here at 6-5, Partner's Hero. Here's the call with Tom Durkin.
Confide caught 4 wide. Nicholas Dees caught 5 wide, 4 lengths back to Pro Song, and he's catching up to the field. 4 of them will arrive at the top of the stretch together. Confide fanned wide into the stretch. Heroes, Partners, Heroes in between horses. Down inside, Oro de Mexico is fighting on, and Spook Deputy, they're coming into the final furlong, and Pro Song continues to close on the far outside. Here comes Pro Song. It's Oro de Mexico down inside. Partners Hero between horses. Pro Song on the outside. Partners Hero forges to the lead. Partners Hero wins by a neck.
Partners Hero victorious once again. The dark brown colt had an impressive victory in the Rumson Stakes at Monmouth Park in his last out, and now scores a first-time graded stakes win. Partners Hero had Hall of Fame jockey Pat Day in the saddle, owned by Horton Stable. This colt, beautifully bred by Danzig, got us safely home. Trained by Dwayne Lucas, will now point Partners Hero to the Breeders' Cup Sprint this fall. The colt's half-sister Safely Kept won the sprint in 1990. We're going to the newest racetrack in the nation, Virginia's Colonial Downs. Featured the $100,000 Virginia for Lovers Stakes this past Saturday, the largest purse to date at the track that opened on Labor Day. Appealing Skier had a narrow lead in the mid-stretch, then held off the late charge of Valid Expectations on the outside. The 4-year-old colt by Bulski got a Jealous Appeal, owned by New Farm, trained by Ben Perkins Sr., the alleged father of Ben and Elliott Walden. Multiple graded stakes winner last year, Appealing Skier had won just 1 of 9 starts in '97. He takes the victory here by a neck. Appealing Skier, winner of Colonial Downs, Virginia, is for Lovers Stakes. Now let's head to New York, Belmont Park, for their weekend stakes action. The $200,000 Grade 2 Rare Perfume Handicap for 3-year-old fillies, the feature on Saturday on the turf. The distance, 1.1 miles. Let's pick up the call now of the Rare Perfume Handicap from Belmont, New York.
A wide move there by Earth to Jackie. Parade Queen in behind horses. They're at the head of the stretch. On the outside, it's Anti-Mame now getting a short lead. Sonia's Faith towards the inside. Swearingen is coming on through, and Parade Queen. Anti-Mame has taken over. Parade Queen on the inside. Swearingen on the outside. It is Anti-Mame in front. Then Parade Queen and Swearingen. Anti-Mame wins it a length.
Anti-Mame gave another grand performance. It was her 5th stakes victory in her last 6 starts and her first-time graded stakes win. Trained by Angel Penna Jr. Anti-Mame is the daughter of the Brookside Stallion Theatrical, the grass champion and Breeders' Cup turf winner. The filly is owned by the Lazy F Ranch, ridden to victory here by Jerry Bailey. Penna will consider the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth Challenge Cup October 4th at Keeneland in Lexington, Kentucky. Sunday at Belmont Park, their feature, the Grade 3 $100,000 Noble Damsel Handicap. It's fillies and mares, 3 and up, a turf race of 1 mile. Jockey Richard Migliori had the ride on the 8-5 favorite here, Anti-Spend.
Anti-Spend coming 3 wide, a Fleetwood coming 4 wide. Vashon in behind the lead, along with Call Con and Tiffany's Taylor. Bull Tompet there on the outside, coming into the last furlong. It's Anti-Spend who's roused to the lead. Call Con trying to split horses. A Fleetwood is there, and on the outside, Tiffany's Taylor is coming on late. It's Call Con who comes through an opening on the rail. Call Con's in front, leaving Anti-Spend back in second. And Tiffany's Taylor. Call Con wins by 2. Anti-Spend second.
Call Con takes the Noble Damsel Handicap, and for Jerry Bailey gives him a sweep of the major Belmont Park weekend stakes races. Call Con trained by Billy Mott and purchased from the Jack Kent Cook dispersal sale for $230,000. Call Con edging out the favorite Anti-Spend, who sold at 4 times that price. Daughter of Pleasant Colony, making her 4th start for Belmont, has never finished worse than second. Look ahead now at some upcoming races. The Breeders' Cup National Stakes schedule at Louisiana Downs this Saturday and at Emerald Downs, the state of Washington, on Sunday.
This is the home of America's leading freshman sires, Red Ransom, Farm Away, and Gilded Time. Of champions and classic winners, Long Fewer, Mr. Bailey's, Runaway Groove, and Strike the Gold. Of millionaires, Bo Genius, Dare and Go, Fly Till Dawn, Light the Fuse, Lost Code, Marquetry, Twilight Agenda, and Tenner's Way. Plus Checker, Lord Carson, O'Dial, Prospect Bay, and Run Softly. This is Vinery.
We created Western Pacific Airlines with a very simple formula. First, build a fleet of modern, efficient aircraft. Next, provide low-fare service to great destinations from coast to coast. Then, assemble a hard-working team of experienced professionals whose #1 job is to make flying fun. That's our formula for success. That's Western Pacific Airlines.
Why are Hershey's Kisses so popular? Because good taste never goes out of style. Little Hershey's Kisses, big chocolate taste.
Great moments in racing are the results of months of hard work and hope, years of planning and persevering, and generations of successful bloodlines. For nearly 2 decades, Walmack has contributed to some of racing's most exciting moments, with precocious young stallions like Ferrara. Ferrara is Capote's fastest son at stud, equaling the track record at Hollywood Park. At Walmack, we're working to make every moment count.
We're back on the Racehorse Digest. We can tell you quarter horse racing fans are looking ahead to a pair of late season events which will have significant bearings on this year's championships. Those big races include the MBNA American Racing Challenge Championships, November 1st, and then the December 21st Champion of Champions, both at Los Alamitos Racecourse in Southern California, and both will be seen right here on ESPN. But right now, we have an update for you on some of the top contenders for these year-end championship honors and the races that should decide these titles. The big event on Challenge Championship Day is the $250,000 MBNA America Challenge Championship. Won last year, as you see, by Cool Cube Baby. She went on to earn honors as AQHA's champion-aged horse, something that several of this year's qualifiers are looking to duplicate. The current list of eligibles is headed by 1995 world champion Win a Lot of Cash. He appears to be back in top form off this recent come-from-behind win in the California Regional, if it's any indication. Multiple stakes winner SLM Big Daddy and perennial Eastern Power Developer Plan are also in. The remaining regionals will be conducted at Lone Star in Texas on October 4th and Turf Paradise in Phoenix, Arizona the following week. There's also an eligibility update for you for the $300,000 Champion of Champions, with All-American Derby winner Dashing Perfection being the latest to join the select list. Dashing Folly, last year's Champion of Champions winner and world champion, will try to become the third back-to-back winner of this prestigious event. SLM Big Daddy and Air Beduino are the others currently invited, with 3 races remaining, including the aforementioned MBNA America Challenge Championship. The final 3 spots will be decided through time trials then, November 28th. Back to racing now. 2-year-olds in action. The $120,000 Cal Sires Cup Futurity. Straw Flying Bud's the favorite.
And away they go in the California Sires Cup Futurity. And the one who came away the best is Straw Flying Buds. Mito Joe 2 is also right there, and Less Travel By is coming up. 12 is now putting in a good run down along the inside as Blue Beamer, and 12 is coming on fast after Straw Flying Buds. Tight between those two. Look like Straw Flying Buds with 12. He could have gone either way.
And it went the way of Straw Flying Buds in the photo, getting the nod over 12. Mito Joe 2 for third. The Cal Sires Futurity, the first stakes win for Straw Flying Buds, who was previously third behind All-American Futurity winner Corona Cash in the Ed Burke Futurity. Second choice, Fly On By, who stumbled at the start and was never a factor. Strawfly and Buds, owned by Double Bar S Ranch, trained by Dan Francisco, ridden by Joe Padilla Jr. And we have a correction to make from last week's show on our coverage of the All-American Derby at Ruidoso Downs, New Mexico. Now, Dashing Perfection, you'll see on the outside, won the $261,000 Derby for owner Bob Moore and trainer Jack Brooks. We had all that right. But the jockey that we incorrectly identified as Jackie Martin coming into the winner's circle was actually our old friend G.R. Carter. Carter won his first All-American Derby, captured the riding title at Ruidoso Downs in his first full season of riding at the mountain track. So our apologies to G.R. Carter. And just for the record, Jackie Martin still has not won the All-American Derby. There's G.R.'s famous flying dismount. And you can stay updated on all the latest in quarter horse racing by calling the AQHA. It's toll free. Here's the number, 1-800-414-RIDE.
Get inside the world of harness racing by subscribing to the award-winning publication of the United States Trotting Association, Hoofbeats. Each month, you'll enjoy news and in-depth features on top horses, drivers, owners, trainers, and major races, all in a colorful, photo-filled format, and all for only $30 for 12 great issues. Call 614-224-2291 and ask to subscribe to the best harness racing has to offer, Hoofbeats.
All-star MVP Mike Piazza spends 9 innings destroying his hair and 90 seconds bringing it back with Pert Plus. More than a shampoo, it conditions too. How? As you shampoo, the conditioners stay suspended. Then as you rinse, the conditioners go to work, giving you great hair simply. Perfect for Mike, because he wants great hair, but he'd rather be living in it than working on it. Wouldn't you? Pert Plus. Simply great hair. Simply.
This is the playoffs, man. Stolen bases. I'm worried about stolen bats. Playing through a slump. Try playing through puberty. It's gonna be tough going back to gym class after the summer in the bigs.
The Racehorse Digest is being brought to you by the American Quarter Horse Association, serving the American quarter horse racing industry and America's horse. By Walmart, winning the world over. Western Pacific with low-fare Boeing jet service to cities coast to coast. And by Alan and Madeline Paulson's Brookside Farms. Binary Stallions 1998 and the United Thoroughbred Trainers of America present the August Trainer of the Month in Thoroughbred Racing. And we have our first repeat winner for 1997, trainer Patrick Byrne. The nation's toughest race meeting, Saratoga. Patrick Byrne, the native of England, who stables most of the year at Churchill Downs, saddled the winner of 5 of the 6 two-year-old stakes races at America's oldest track. Here is Patrick with Polished Brass, who won the Sanford for him. His filly Countess Diana won the Spinaway and the Schuylerville. And here is his real stable star, the undefeated 2-year-old sensation, Favorite Trick, winner of the Saratoga Special and the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes. Patrick Byrne, the winner of the Binary UTJ Trainer of the Month Award for August, to go along with his May Award. On our Brookside News Thoroughbred update, European racing stars announcing their Breeders' Cup plans. Racing's championship day, November 8th at Hollywood Park. England's champion filly, Bosworsham, winner of 3 Group 1 races being pointed for the Breeders' Cup turf. But last year's Breeders' Cup turf champion Pilsudski will pass on the Breeders' Cup this year to go to the ARC and the Japan Cup. Big weekend of racing for us on our Racing to the Breeders' Cup series on ESPN. Saturday, the Woodward Stakes and the Woodbine Mile featured. That's at 5:30. Then on Sunday, we'll have the Matron and the Futurity. Sunday, September 21st. That on ESPN at 5 o'clock. See you next week on the Racehorse Digest. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental with airport and neighborhood locations worldwide. For reservations, call your travel agent or 1-800-4CARS. Air transportation provided by Western Pacific Airlines. You'll enjoy Western Pacific's young and colorful all-Boeing jet fleet, and you'll love their low fares to cities coast to coast. The Racehorse Digest is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.